Close your eyes. Let the outer world dissolve. Let the facts, the noise, the waiting, all fade away. What remains is you and your imagination. And here's the secret. If you can feel it as done, then it is. You don't manifest with effort, you manifest with being. What you assume yourself to be inwardly, you express outwardly. This is not philosophy, it is law. The law of consciousness, unbreakable and exact. So ask yourself now, can you feel the end? Not wish for it, not long for it, but truly feel it as if it has already happened. The desire fulfilled, the prayer answered, the dream realized. There is no power outside you giving or withholding anything. Your inner world is the only cause. All things obey the feeling that dominates your inner space. You do not attract what you want, you attract what you are. You are not asking the world to change, you are assuming it already has. And that assumption, when felt deeply and lived sincerely, compels the outer to mirror it. You are not hoping, you are not pleading, you are knowing. And knowing is the creative act. Begin now to live from the end, not toward it, not waiting for it, from it. You want love? Be the one who is already cherished. You want wealth? Walk as one who already has more than enough. You want healing? Move as one already whole. This feeling is the seed, and your world is the fertile soil. But it will not grow while you keep digging it up with doubt or water it with desperation. It grows when you rest, when you trust. And above all, when you stop trying to make it happen and instead you dwell in the state where it has already happened. That is the manifestation key. Feel it done and you shall see it done. Not by might, not by effort, but by the silent power of assumption. The world bends to the inner man who dares to say, "It is already so." And when that man walks the earth as though it were already true, the world has no choice but to follow. Be still now and feel it. It is done. Every desire you've ever had was not a call to action, but a call to assume. The world in all its shapes and changes does not respond to pleading or longing. It does not yield to effort alone. It bends to assumption, the quiet inner knowing that what you seek is already yours. There is a secret embedded in the fabric of reality. You are always assuming something, whether consciously or unconsciously, and these assumptions are not passive thoughts. They are living beliefs clothed in feeling. When you say, "This is who I am," and you feel it to be so, you move mountains unseen. Life then doesn't give you what you ask for with your lips. It gives you what you claim with your inner certainty. To assume something is not to daydream about it or to wish for it. It is to inhabit it as though it were real. It is to close your eyes and feel the chair beneath you, though the chair has not yet appeared. It is to walk through the world not with empty hands, but with the full heart of someone who already possesses their desire. When a man assumes he is healthy despite appearances of illness, and he remains loyal to that assumption, not just once but persistently, something changes. His body, his cells, his chemistry begin to shift in harmony with that inner belief. And when a woman assumes she is deeply loved, though the outer world may not show it, her experience begins to mirror that state in ways that defy logic. Why? Because the outer world is nothing more than a mirror held up to your inner state. People often say, "I'll believe it when I see it," but this is the very reversal of the truth. In this realm of consciousness, you see it because you believe it. The assumption comes first, the evidence follows. To assume is to plant the seed. The manifestation is merely the unfolding of that seed in the garden of life. But many do not know they are assuming. They think they are reacting to life. They do not see that life is reacting to them. A man who assumes he is always unlucky will find misfortune on every corner, not because life is cruel, but because life is obedient. It takes the mold of your assumption and pours itself into it. If your mold is brokenness, life will show you pieces. If your mold is wholeness, life will show you completion. Assumption works in silence. It does not shout, it does not fight, it simply is. It carries the power of creation without lifting a single finger. The one who truly assumes does not chase, he does not beg, he does not force. He enters the state of the wish fulfilled and dwells there, confidently and quietly, as though the promise has already been kept. You must ask yourself not what do I want, but what am I assuming right now? Are you assuming that you'll always struggle, that you're not good enough, that things never work out for you? If so, the world must echo that belief. But if you dare to assume that everything is working in your favor, even when your senses scream otherwise, something remarkable happens. The world begins to reflect that faith. This is the mystery. To assume is to create. You have no need to convince anyone, to manipulate, to push the pieces into place. All you must do is choose the state you wish to live in, assume it fully, feel it deeply, and let life catch up. You are the operant power, and your assumption is the key. When you assume the best and live from that end, the best must appear. Not by chance, but by law. There is an invisible bridge between the world you imagine and the world you experience, and that bridge is feeling. Thought alone is not enough. Words, no matter how poetic or powerful, do not create unless they are charged with emotion. It is what you feel deeply that shapes the fabric of your reality. Feeling is the alchemy that transforms the unseen. Every creation begins in the invisible. A desire stirs in the quiet depths of your mind, but that desire cannot manifest unless it is felt into being. Emotion gives it life. It is the spiritual substance that clothes the formless with form. Without feeling, desire remains a shadow, an idea, not a reality. The world is not moved by logic, it is moved by energy, and emotion is concentrated energy. When you feel something strongly, whether joy, fear, gratitude, or sorrow, you are broadcasting that frequency into the field of life. And this field is not indifferent. It responds to the vibration of your inner state. What you feel, you attract. What you sustain emotionally, you embody. And what you embody, you experience. You may say, I want success. But if you feel doubt or anxiety or unworthiness, then it is not success you are calling in. It is resistance. You are crossing the bridge of feeling in the wrong direction. The outer world cannot help but reflect the truth of your inner, emotional atmosphere. So the key is not to simply think positively or repeat affirmations like a machine. The key is to enter the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Imagine what it would be like if your desire were already yours, and then dare to feel that now. The joy, the relief, the peace, the gratitude. That feeling is the doorway. That feeling is the bridge. It carries you from longing to fulfillment. Not someday, but this is why children often manifest so easily. They imagine vividly and feel without resistance. They do not question whether what they feel is possible. They simply step into the scene in their mind and feel it is real. And life responds accordingly. The adult, on the other hand, hesitates, doubts, rationalizes, but the law remains the same. What you feel deeply, you make real. Every outcome you have experienced, good or bad, has been traced back to a feeling. The feeling of being unwanted becomes the experience of rejection. The feeling of being supported becomes the experience of abundance. It does not matter what appears to be happening outside of you. What matters is the emotional blueprint you hold within. When you deliberately choose to feel the end result, even when the senses show otherwise, you are shifting timelines. You are moving from the known to the unknown, from possibility to certainty. You are no longer hoping, you are knowing. And that knowing, felt in the heart, becomes the cause of all future events. Do not wait for the world to give you something to feel good about. That is not how this works. You must feel it first. And in feeling it, you set the wheels of reality in motion. Life will always meet you at the level of your emotion, not your intention. So ask yourself often, what am I feeling right now? Because that feeling is sending instructions to your world. If you want love, feel loved. If you want freedom, feel free. If you want success, feel successful. Not later, not after, but now. This is not pretending, this is creating. It is not about faking a mood. It is about aligning with the state where your desire already lives. Walk across the bridge. Don't just think it. Feel it. Because feeling is the bridge, and the only way to make the unseen become seen. You are not waiting to create. You are not creating only when you sit in meditation or speak words of affirmation. You are always creating. Every moment, every thought, every feeling is a brushstroke painting the canvas of your life. Whether you are conscious of it or not, your inner state is shaping your outer world. There is no pause. There is no off switch. The creative power within you is constant, and it responds faithfully to the energy you radiate. Your thoughts, when infused with feeling, are prayers, unspoken requests sent into the field of infinite possibility. But they are not just requests, they are commands, directives, seeds. Each thought, clothed in emotion, plants itself in the soil of consciousness. And what is planted must grow. What is felt must find form. The world around you is not happening to you, it is growing from you. This is why it is not enough to wish. A wish is often fleeting, half-hearted, filled with doubt. But a belief, a feeling, a deep inner conviction, that is power, that is the force that moves mountains. You may not even speak your desires aloud, yet if your heart is full of certainty, the outer world bends to it. And likewise, even if your mouth utters affirmations of abundance, but your soul is anxious or afraid, the world will reflect the fear, not the... Creation is not an event. It is a condition, a state of being. You are like a radio tower, constantly transmitting a signal. And that signal, formed by your dominant thoughts and feelings, determines what you attract and what you repel. It is not what you do in rare moments of concentration that shapes your life. It is who you are being in every ordinary moment. You cannot fool this process. You cannot fake this signal. Life responds to your real vibration, not the mask you wear or the words you rehearse. If you walk through the world with an inner posture of lack, the world echoes it back with absence. If you live with the quiet confidence that you are supported, chosen, and blessed, you'll begin to see signs of that truth manifesting everywhere. It is humbling to realize how much of our life is not chance, not fate, but the outpicturing of inner patterns. And it is empowering to know that at any moment you can shift your state and begin sowing new seeds. The question is not whether you are manifesting, the question is what you are manifesting. By what you continually dwell on, fear, imagine, and feel. A man who lives in constant worry is not only suffering emotionally, he is also cultivating a future shaped by that worry. A woman who silently carries the assumption that she is never chosen, never seen, is unknowingly authoring a reality where that remains true. These inner stories, repeated often and charged with emotion, become scripts for the world to act out. But when you awaken to this truth, you begin to choose differently. You begin to guard your inner state. not out of fear, but with reverence. You recognize that your imagination is sacred ground, and what you allow to take root there will soon show itself in your life. There is no neutral moment. Every second you are emitting, shaping, sculpting. You are always creating. So become deliberate. Begin to ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What am I assuming right now? And if the answer does not serve the life you desire, change it, shift it, replace it with a better seed. The world is a garden and your mind is the planter. Sow wisely, feel richly, imagine fully, and know that the harvest is not in someone else's hands. It is growing beneath your very feet, springing from the prayers you didn't even know you were praying. To live from the end is to become the embodiment of your desire fulfilled. It is not hoping, wishing, or waiting. It is being. It is the sacred shift from seeing your desire as something outside of you to knowing it as something already accomplished within you. You are no longer chasing after your dream. You are living as if it were already your truth. The common mistake many make is to dwell on their desires. They think of them often, speak about them, even daydream about them, but always from a place of distance. The desire remains something over there, separate and unreachable like a star in the sky. But to live from the end is to bring that star down and place it in your heart. It is to walk, speak, feel, and move as if that desire is already your present reality. When you live from the end, you do not ask, when will it come? That question vanishes because you are already in the state of possession. Time dissolves, lack disappears. What remains is the peace, the satisfaction, the certainty of fulfillment. You become one with the result, and when that union happens within, it must reveal itself without. This way of being is not about pretending. It's not about tricking the mind or acting for show. It is a deep inner conviction, a shift in consciousness. You are not hoping to be wealthy. You are wealth in form. You are not seeking love. You are love fulfilled. This inner identification is what magnetizes the outer experience to you. The world, in its obedient nature, rushes to mirror the truth you hold inside. Think of a person who has already received their heart's desire. How do they walk? How do they breathe? How do they carry themselves in the world? There is no strain, no grasping. There is grace. There is knowing. When you live from the end, you assume that identity, not out of arrogance, but out of alignment. You no longer need proof because you have become the proof. This is the great paradox. When you stop looking for it and start living from it, it finds you. The person who feels unworthy will continue to experience rejection. The person who feels chosen will naturally be chosen. Why? Because the outer world simply reflects the inner world. It cannot help it. It does not argue, it echoes. So the question is not how do I make it happen? The true question is, can I inhabit the version of me where it's already happened? That version of you already exists in consciousness. You do not create it, you step into it. You occupy that mental home and claim it as yours. When doubt arises, when circumstances seem unchanged, return to the state. Re-enter the scene of the wish fulfilled. Feel it again, touch it again in imagination. Not as a dream, but as a memory. The mind does not know the difference between real and imagined, only what is felt. And what is consistently felt becomes fact. The greatest secret of creation is this: the end contains the path. When you assume the end as already done, life rearranges itself to bring it forth. You do not need to know the how or the when. You only need to know the what and feel that it is already so. Living from the end is not about doing more. It is about being more. Being the one who already is, already has, already knows. It is from that sacred state that miracles unfold, not because you force them, but because you align with them. Enter the end and remain there, and what you assumed will not delay. It must come because it is already yours. Detachment is not about giving up. It is not about becoming indifferent or careless. True detachment is trust, the kind of trust that allows you to step back, breathe deeply, and surrender the details to a higher intelligence. It is the sacred understanding that your job is not to construct the path brick by brick, but simply to feel the end result as real and let life orchestrate the unfolding. Most people block their manifestations not because they don't desire strongly enough, but because they grip too tightly. They obsess over the how, trying to figure out every step, worrying if they're doing it right. They fixate on the when, growing restless and anxious if it doesn't arrive on their schedule. But both of these mental habits arise from the same root: a lack of faith, a belief that it won't happen unless they push it into being. But that's not how creation works. Your mind is a powerful tool, but it was never meant to carry the weight of the entire process. Your true power lies in imagining the end and feeling it as already done. That is your work. That is the cause. The effect, the means, the method, the timing belongs to something far beyond your conscious control. It belongs to the unseen laws that govern all of life. When you try to force the how, you step out of your creative role and into a reactive one. You begin adjusting your vibration to match doubt instead of fulfillment. When you chase, you affirm that you don't yet have it. When you grow impatient, you declare that it's still missing. These inner declarations cancel the very thing you're trying to call in. Detachment then is not passivity. It's alignment. It is the quiet, confident stance of one who knows that what is imagined with feeling and consistency must become fact. Just as a seed planted in fertile soil will grow when left undisturbed, so too will your desire come to life when you allow it the space to unfold. The moment you have felt the end is real, the moment you have touched the state of the wish fulfilled, creation is complete. You don't need to repeat it 1,000 times or beg the universe to respond. You only need to remain faithful to that inner knowing and refuse to dig up the seed with doubt. Let the path reveal itself. Let life surprise you. Often the route your desire takes will look nothing like what your mind expected. It may come through people you've never met, opportunities you didn't anticipate, or events that seem unrelated. But if you insist on managing every detail, you may block the very blessings trying to reach you in unexpected ways. You are not here to figure it all out. You are here to feel it all real. You are here to dwell in the state of completion, and in that state, your world will reorganize itself. Detach from how, detach from when. Release the timeline. Let go of the urge to monitor progress, check the signs, or compare your journey to others. All of these things stem from fear, and fear creates resistance. Return daily to the feeling of the end. Bask in it, breathe it, own it, and then live your life with joy and openness, knowing that the wheels have already turned in your favor. When you truly let go, not with resignation, but with assurance, you make space for the unseen to work wonders, and in that space, creation becomes effortless, because you are no longer interfering. It is done. Your job is not to make it happen. Your job is to know that it is happening, even now, and to trust enough to let go. The world you see, touch, and move through each day is not random. It is a mirror, exact, responsive, and deeply personal. It reflects not your wishes, not your words alone, but the certainty you carry within. Before anything changes in the outer world, it must first shift in the inner realm of belief. That is where all true creation begins, with a quiet, unshakable knowing. Inner certainty is not loud. It does not demand proof or chase evidence. It is calm, settled, and still. It is the subtle yet powerful awareness that what you have imagined is already yours. Even when the senses scream otherwise, even when circumstances contradict it, inner certainty remains unmoved. And that state of unwavering knowing is the cause of all outer change. So many people go through life trying to change the world while remaining unchanged within. They fight against conditions, plead for transformation, or wait for a sign before they believe. But it does not work that way. The mirror cannot show you a smiling reflection if you wear a frown. It cannot show you success if inwardly you feel unworthy. The reflection is faithful. It only reflects what stands before it. But this is why inner certainty is everything. It is the signal to the universe that you are ready, aligned, and already living in the state of your desire fulfilled. When you no longer ask, "Is it coming?" and instead say, "It is already done," you send out a vibration that life cannot ignore. But how do you reach this certainty? You must cultivate it through imagination, repetition, and feeling. You must turn inward and build a relationship with your desired state until it becomes more familiar to you than your doubts. You revisit it each day, not because you are trying to force it to appear, but because you are choosing to live from it now. This is not about blind faith or pretending. It's about stepping into the role of the creator and assuming responsibility for your vibration. You recognize that every outer result you experience is the echo of a former inner state, and that to create something new, you must become someone new within. When doubt arises, you do not panic. You do not chase for reassurance. You simply return to the truth. I have imagined it. I have felt it. It is done. You become still in that knowing. And that stillness is not passive. It is power. In stillness, you align with the deeper rhythm of life that moves all things into place. You are no longer reacting to the world. You are commanding it through your inner state. Certainty does not require control. In fact, it releases control. When you are certain, you don't micromanage. You don't need to see daily signs to stay encouraged. You simply walk in faith, not as someone waiting, but as someone who already knows. You show up differently, you speak differently, you carry yourself with the quiet strength of someone who is already whole. This inner conviction bends reality. It draws in people, events, and opportunities that align with your belief. The world organizes itself around the truth you hold inside, and the stronger that truth becomes, the more naturally and effortlessly it begins to manifest around you. So if you want to change your world, begin by changing the way you feel within. Shift your assumptions. Hold the vision. Cultivate the feeling. And above all, remain still in your knowing. Do not be swayed by appearances or delayed by doubt. Be still, know it is done, and the world will have no choice but to catch up with the certainty that already lives inside you. Everything you've ever desired is already alive in the unseen, waiting for you to claim it. Not with effort, not with struggle, but with feeling. When you assume it's done, when you live from the end, when you no longer beg but rest in certainty, creation becomes effortless. The world bends to your inner state because you are always creating it. Stop asking how and when. Instead, dwell in the feeling that it is already so. Let that feeling become your home. Let that knowing become your reality. Feel it deeply, feel it often, feel it as done, and it must become flesh. Creation begins and ends within. The bridge is feeling, the key is assumption, the power is you. Thank you for listening. If this message stirred something within you, hold it close and return to it whenever doubt tries to speak louder than your faith. Until next time, stay grounded, stay certain, and remember, it is already done. Close your eyes for a moment and recall the feeling of having your desire fulfilled. That moment where the world is quiet and your heart is stilled, because you know. That inner knowing is the true sign. Not the number on the clock, not the words spoken by a stranger, but the stillness within. That is the beginning of manifestation. You see, this world is not random. It is a mirror. And when you shift inwardly, the world begins to echo your new assumption. If you've begun to see glimpses, a phrase repeated, a symbol that stirs you, a dream that feels real, do not question it. These are not coincidences. They are confirmations, echoes from the unseen, whispering, it is already yours. You may have noticed a shift, not out there, but in here. You feel less frantic, less needy. You are no longer seeking. Something inside you has surrendered, not in defeat, but in quiet certainty. That feeling of release, that is your proof. When the desire is truly accepted as done, the anxiety to get it disappears. There may be days when you feel nothing is moving, but then someone mentions exactly what you've been imagining. A song plays. You overhear your own story spoken by another. These are signs, not to be worshipped, but acknowledged as reflections of your new inner world. These are the shadows cast by your imagination already made real. Understand this, the feeling comes before the fact. You feel abundance, and then the wealth appears. You feel love, and then the person arrives. You feel freedom, and then the doors open. If you are feeling these things now, without needing the external evidence, then it is done. Your desire is not coming, it is unfolding. So many wait for signs to believe, but the one who truly understands begins to believe, and then the signs appear. If the world is whispering back to you in synchronicities, unexpected blessings, or that soft sense of knowing, do not doubt. These are not hints, these are proof. Do not chase signs. Do not ask the world to reassure you. Instead, rest in the conviction that it is already yours. Walk in the world as one who has already received. Speak with the voice of someone whose prayer is answered. Think from the end, not toward it. The signs are not the cause, they are the consequence. And if you are seeing them, feeling them, becoming aware of them, it means one thing. You have moved. You are no longer the person who wants the desire, you are the one who has it. The bridge of incidents is forming beneath your feet, even as you stand still. Walk forward in trust. Let the world echo your imagination. It already is, because when you see the signs, you're not being teased, you are being told, it's done. What you see around you is never separate from what you carry within you. The people you meet, the situations you encounter, even the so-called coincidences, they all mirror your internal world. This is not metaphorical, it is literal. Your outer experience is shaped, formed, and given life by the unseen patterns of thought, belief, and emotion that you entertain consistently. The world is not reacting to your actions, it is responding to your state of consciousness. When you begin to imagine a new reality, when you saturate your mind with a new assumption and persist in it regardless of appearances, something begins to shift. At first, it may be subtle, a word repeated by a stranger, an image that shows up multiple times in different places, or a dream that feels real and vivid. These are not accidents. They are echoes from the outer world, reflecting the new reality forming within you. The moment you accept a new truth inwardly, the world has no choice but to conform to that truth. You may think you are waiting for the world to change so you can feel differently, but in truth, the world is waiting on you. The change must begin within. You must feel wealthy before you see wealth. You must feel love before you witness love expressed. You must feel free before freedom shows up. It may seem backward to the logical mind, but that's because this is not a matter of logic, it's a matter of law. The inner creates the outer. You can test this for yourself. The next time you experience conflict or limitation, do not try to fight or fix the outside. Go within. Ask yourself what state you are embodying. What do you believe about yourself in that moment? Are you identifying with lack, fear, or separation? Then the world must reflect that back to you. But if you can shift even slightly into a state of abundance, peace, and unity, then the world must shift too. And you may feel that you don't necessarily mean it, but the world must shift too. It is law. The outer world is obedient. It does not argue. It does not judge. It simply reflects. Like a mirror, it does not choose what to show. It only shows what stands before it. And if what stands before it is a person rooted in confidence, gratitude, and expectancy, then the mirror will show a life full of opportunities, blessings, and progress. If what stands before it is doubt, fear, and lack, the mirror will show more of the same. So when you begin to see the world reflecting your desires, when doors start to open, when people treat you differently, when resources show up just when you need them, know this: it is not a fluke. It is the confirmation that your inner world has changed. Your assumption is taking form. Your new state is being honored by the world around you. Do not ask, is it working, when the signs begin to appear. Recognize that the mirror is finally catching up to what you have already accepted as true. You are not waiting for your desire. Your desire is waiting for you to recognize that it's already being made visible. The outer simply reflects the inner. Always. There comes a moment in your journey when something inside you softens. You no longer feel the same urgency, the same desperation, or the constant ache of waiting. You begin to breathe more deeply. You notice a quiet calm where there was once tension. This is not apathy. It is not giving up. It is alignment. It is the subtle but powerful shift from longing to having, from chasing to resting, from trying to force the external to knowing it is already yours. This change within you is not to be ignored. It is the most important sign of all. When you enter the state of the wish fulfilled, you feel it before you see it. Your emotions change. Your thoughts no longer revolve around how or when. Instead, there's a peaceful sense of completion. You no longer feel the need to ask over and over, to look for signs with anxious eyes. You are no longer reaching for your desire as if it's far away. You begin to walk and think and live as if it's already part of your reality. This is the state that creates the world. This shift is invisible to others at first, but you feel it. You may even doubt it because it feels so effortless. You wonder, why don't I care like I used to? Or why do I feel so peaceful all of a sudden? That peace is not indifference, it's a signal that you've moved, that your consciousness has accepted a new identity. The person who once begged for the desire is gone. The new you, the one who has it, has arrived. This new state doesn't require proof. It doesn't demand validation from the outside world. It knows. And because it knows, it is silent, it is steady. You stop looking at the clock. You stop measuring your worth by what has or hasn't appeared. You don't need to manipulate or perform. You simply are. You carry yourself differently. Your imagination is no longer a place of escape, but a place of creation. You visit your desired reality often, and it feels normal, even inevitable. Peace, detachment, and quiet confidence are the natural results of dwelling in the end, They are not things you have to force. They flow from being settled in your assumption. You no longer entertain the old stories of lack or limitation. When fear knocks, you recognize it for what it is, a remnant of an old state, and you no longer let it in. Your inner world becomes your true home. The outer world begins to mirror that new home, not immediately, but inevitably. And so, when you notice this shift within you, this gentle turning from striving to knowing, rejoice. It is the clearest evidence that something powerful is unfolding. You are no longer asking for your desire, you are being it. And being always precedes having. This inner movement is what makes all manifestation possible. You may not see the full picture yet, but you are in the right frame. Remain in that quiet confidence. Stay in the peace that does not need to explain itself. Let the world catch up to who you've become inside, because once your state has shifted, the rest is just the unfolding of what you have already claimed in spirit. Time as we know it is not fixed. It bends and shapes itself around the consciousness that dares to assume something new. When you boldly assume a new reality, not merely hope for it, but truly dwell in it mentally and emotionally, something beyond logic begins to stir. Events shift, people appear, paths open. And yet, the movement feels almost surreal, like a dream you are gently waking into. What we call signs, the repeating numbers, the unexpected texts, the people who suddenly cross our paths. These are not random messages from the universe. They are the outer echoes of a reality already accepted within. The moment you persist in a new assumption, the world must bend to reflect it. It may not do so instantly, but it will respond in ripples, like the first waves after a stone is dropped into still water. And those ripples are what many chase, mistaking the effect for the cause. But you must understand, the cause is always within. When your assumption is firm, when you feel it as true and live from it as real, time no longer follows its usual pace. It becomes fluid, responsive, even obedient. You may find that something you thought would take years arrives in weeks, or perhaps something you once thought impossible begins unfolding in a way that feels effortless. It isn't because the world suddenly became magical. It's because your inner world shifted, and time simply bowed to your new direction. There is no need to run after synchronicities, no need to decipher every sign like a riddle. The moment you begin to chase the signs, you step out of the assumed state and fall back into seeking Daruichi. But when you remain grounded in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, you no longer react to signs. You recognize them as natural consequences of a reality already unfolding. This is why you may begin to notice strange alignments. A conversation echoes the very thing you imagined. A stranger says the exact phrase you once whispered to yourself in a quiet moment. You wake up at the same symbolic hour again and again. These are not clues to figure out. They are confirmations. You don't need to respond with urgency. Respond with peace, with gratitude, with the knowing that you are seeing the surface of something much deeper already in motion. Time is not your enemy. It is not delaying you. It is arranging itself around your assumption. Your only task is to remain faithful to the unseen reality. When you persist in that inner knowing, time will serve you. It will fold itself into the story you've chosen to believe. So if you are seeing synchronicities, if the world is beginning to hum in tune with your desires, understand that it is not random, it is resonance. The vibration of your assumed reality is sending ripples through the fabric of time and space. And what you see now, those small signs, those quiet nods, are not hints that it might happen. They are proof that it already is. There is a sacred alignment that occurs when your emotions begin to match the reality you have imagined. Without any visible change in the outer world, you begin to feel differently, lighter, calmer, more joyful. It is as though the future you once longed for has already arrived, not in form, but in feeling. And that feeling is the bridge. When you feel joy, gratitude, or calm before the thing appears, you've entered the true creative state. You've stepped into the vibration of receiving. This shift is not forced. It is not the result of affirmations repeated with tension or rituals done in desperation. It arises naturally when you fully accept that what you desire is already yours. You no longer need to chase it, beg for it, or convince yourself of it. You feel as though the end is now. And that is the secret, to dwell in the end emotionally, before the senses confirm it. Many believe they must wait to celebrate. They say, I'll be grateful when it arrives. I'll be happy when I see it. I'll feel peace once I have it in my hands. But this reverses the process. The emotion must come before the manifestation, not after. Feeling joy before the evidence appears is not foolish. It is powerful. It is the signature of someone who has shifted their inner state and is now magnetizing the outer to match. Think of it this way. Emotion is frequency. When you feel joy, you are tuned to the frequency of the fulfilled desire. When you feel gratitude, you are declaring to the universe that you have already received. When you feel peace, you are no longer at war with the gap between the seen and unseen. You are resting in the certainty of its arrival. These emotions are not reactions. They are causes. They set the tone. They build for. This is why a person who practices inner peace and joy, even when nothing has changed on the surface, will find that the world begins to shift around them, opportunities appear, relationships heal, doors open. Why? Because the world has no choice but to reflect your inner atmosphere. When you live from the end emotionally, the outer must conform. You may notice that the more you feel from the end, the less you check for signs, the less you seek validation. You stop asking, is it working, because you already feel it is. That inner confidence, that lightness of being, that is manifestation in motion. You are no longer aligned with lack, and so lack can no longer cling to you. You are radiating completion. This is not about pretending or pulling on a mask. It is about feeling from truth. Even if your five senses disagree, your soul knows when something is done. And when you feel from that place, when your inner world sings with the joy of having, the outer must respond. It may not be immediate, but it will be inevitable. So when you catch yourself smiling without a reason, feeling grateful for what you can't yet touch, or resting in peace despite the unknown, rejoice. You are no longer waiting, you are receiving. And your emotion is not a wish, it is evidence. There comes a point on the path to manifestation when the inner struggle simply begins to fade. The constant questions of what should I do next, or how can I make this happen faster, start to dissolve. Not because the desire has physically shown up yet, but because something deeper has taken place. You've entered into a state of fulfillment. You feel the truth of your desire as already done. And with that awareness, the urgency disappears. Impatience is a symptom of not believing. It's the child of doubt. When you're still caught in the illusion that your desire is separate from you, far away, difficult to reach, uncertain, impatience takes root. You feel the need to push, to chase, to figure everything out with the mind. But the moment you truly accept that it is already yours, something within you softens. You no longer need to manipulate the pieces of the outer world. You trust that everything is aligning on your behalf. This doesn't mean you stop moving entirely or that life becomes passive. Rather, your actions shift from force to flow. You're no longer acting out of desperation, trying to make something happen. You begin to act with clarity and inspiration because you feel supported by something greater than logic. The unseen structure of your assumption taking shape in the world. When the feeling of fulfillment takes hold, your nervous energy fades. You stop needing updates from the outside world. You no longer crave signs as proof. You stop checking the clock. The desire becomes something you simply are, rather than something you need to acquire. This is the power of living in the end. Your emotional state no longer depends on conditions being met. It is self-generated, and that makes it magnetic. Impatience fades because there is nothing left to prove. You are no longer trying to convince yourself. You know. And that knowing silences the inner noise. It brings a calm certainty that is far more powerful than any effort or struggle. In that quiet you find trust. Not blind trust in the world, but deep trust in the unseen mechanics of consciousness. In the law that what you accept within must externalize without. When you are truly fulfilled inwardly, waiting no longer feels like waiting. It becomes watching, observing, anticipating with joy instead of anxiety. You feel like someone who has already ordered their meal and knows it's on the way. There is no need to pace the room or beg the waiter. You know the process is already unfolding behind the scenes. So if you find yourself relaxing more, if your urge to force things is dissolving, if you feel peace instead of panic, know that this is not inaction, it is mastery. You have entered the creative stillness, the place where true manifestation begins to form. It is not loud, it is not frantic, it is subtle, but it is powerful. And in this sacred space, impatience cannot survive, because fulfillment is already felt. When you begin to align with the reality of your fulfilled desire, the universe doesn't whisper once, it echoes. Over and over again, life sends confirmations, not to convince you, but to mirror your inner state. This is how you know you've truly entered the realm of the assumed end. The signs aren't fleeting or isolated, they come again and again, often in different forms, yet carrying the same message. It is done. These echoes may come as repeated numbers, familiar words spoken by strangers, recurring dreams, symbols that seem to follow you, or themes that keep appearing in unexpected places. They may show up in songs, in social media, or in spontaneous conversations. And while the logical mind may call them coincidences, the soul recognizes them as echoes of truths, reverberations of the imagined end beginning to imprint itself on your external world. Repetition is the language of alignment. When you are vibrating at the frequency of your desire, the outer world cannot help but reflect that frequency back to you. You see confirmation not because you're seeking it, but because you are now living in harmony with it. Just as a tuning fork vibrates when it hears a matching note, the world vibrates in response to your internal song. The signs are not needed to create belief, they appear because belief already exists. This is why someone living in doubt rarely sees confirmation. They are not aligned with the end, so life cannot reflect that end back to them. But the one who assumes their desire is already fulfilled begins to notice repetition, not once, not twice, but consistently. This consistency is not something you create, it is something you receive. It is the outer world repeating back the message your inner world is now constantly broadcasting. And yet, the signs do not demand analysis. They do not exist for the purpose of being decoded. Their role is not to prove anything to you. They are simply reminders. Gentle nudges, invitations to stay in the state of knowing, to stay in the end. Every time you see the confirmation, let it deepen your peace. Let it ground your certainty. Let it remind you that you are not waiting. You are already walking in it. Think of it like an echo in a canyon. You speak the word once and the walls return it to you repeatedly. This is how life works for the one who dares to imagine and believe. Once you claim your desire within and feel it as true, the echo begins. Not from desperation, not from effort, but from resonance. The imagined end is now vibrating through time, through space, through form. So when confirmation appears, don't ask, what does this mean? Instead, affirm, this is the sound of it happening. Don't look for the sign, embody the state, and the signs will chase you. They will follow you, surround you, and return to you again and again, because you are now one with the thing you once desired. Life echoes what you assume, and when the echoes keep coming, it's not a question of if, it's only a matter of when. What you desire is not somewhere far off in the distance. It is already forming, already unfolding, already reflecting through the mirror of your inner world. The signs you see, the peace you feel, the subtle shift in your emotions. These are not empty signals, they are confirmations that you have moved. You are no longer aligned with lack, but with fulfillment. The world responds not to your effort, but to your assumption. When you feel from the end, when your emotions align with what you've imagined, and when your impatience fades into trust, the desire must appear, not as something you chase, but something you now receive. So hold the feeling, live from the end, let the signs echo, let time bend, and let your certainty be unshaken. You are not hoping, you are remembering. You are not waiting, you are receiving. It is done, saying, thank you for allowing this message to reach you. May you continue to live from the end, trust the unseen, and walk forward in the knowing that your desire is not coming, it's already yours. Close your eyes, just for a moment, and let this truth settle into your being. You are the operant power. You do not need to complain about the world outside of you. The world is simply reflecting what you have accepted within. To protest, to argue, to lament, it is to give life to what you wish to be rid of. What you condemn, you cling to. What you bless, you release. The wise never complain because they understand. The world follows, it never leads, and never explain. To explain is to defend is to doubt, and doubt is the death of the miracle. When you know something is already yours, you do not explain your claim to anyone. Do you explain the air you breathe? No, because it is natural. So too should your assumption be natural, effortless, done. If you must speak, speak inwardly. Whisper to yourself the new reality. Close the door to the outside and enter the secret chamber of imagination. There, in that sacred space, assume the feeling of your desire fulfilled. Clothe yourself in it. Dwell in it until it becomes so familiar the outer world is forced to conform. Complaining delays miracles, explaining dissolves them. Only the silent knowing manifests. Live as though it is already done. Walk the earth in quiet confidence. Let the world wonder what changed. Let them see the miracle. But never tell them how, because you know the truth. It was done the moment you assumed it. Never complain, never explain, just feel it real and watch the miraculous unfold in ways no mind could predict. There is a sacred power in your inner silence that most overlook. In a world obsessed with noise, opinions, and reactions, silence has become a forgotten virtue. Yet it is within this very stillness that your creative power dwells. When you cease reacting to the outside world, when you no longer feel the need to respond, justify, or defend, you step into your true nature as the one who commands reality from within. Every outer event is simply a mirror of a previous inner state. The conditions you see in your world are not random, nor are they forced upon you by others. They are reflections of what you have assumed, believed, and accepted in consciousness. When you complain or react to circumstances, you affirm them. You say, "This is true for me," and in doing so, you breathe life into what you do not want. But the one who is still, who is silent, understands that the seed of change lies not in the reaction, but in the selection of a new inner reality. A quiet mind is not weak. It is not passive. It is focused. It knows what it wants and it does not waste energy resisting what it no longer chooses. It turns away from appearances and looks within. It chooses to feel, to dwell, to believe in the unseen until it becomes seen. The world will pull at you. It will shout, tempt, and provoke. But your power lies in not answering that call. Your true authority begins where your reaction ends. When you refuse to be moved by the outer, you begin to move the inner. And the inner is the cause. Stillness is not inaction. It is creation at the highest level. You are withdrawing your energy from what you no longer accept and investing it in what you are now assuming to be true. It is in this silence that your new reality is formed. No struggle, no force. Just the gentle assumption impressed again and again upon the inner mind until it hardens into fact. You do not need to argue with your world. You do not need to convince anyone of your worth, your vision, or your dream. You simply become it. Silently, faithfully, persistently, the man who sits in silence, imagining himself into a greater life, is doing more for his future than the man who works feverishly while doubting inwardly. You must learn to rest in the unseen, to accept your desire as already true within, and to stop reacting as though it is not. This silence is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is knowing. It is a deep, unshakable confidence that what you hold within will appear without. You don't need to force it. You don't need to chase it. You only need to become it and remain unmoved by anything that says otherwise. That is your task. That is your true work. The quiet mind is the fertile ground of creation. Protect it, guard it, nourish it. Turn inward often and dwell in the feeling of your wish fulfilled. Speak little, react less, and know that in your inner stillness, miracles are forming, worlds are shifting, and your future is answering the call of your imagination. To complain is to affirm the very thing you wish would change. Every word of frustration, every sigh of disappointment, every explanation of why things aren't working, these are subtle declarations of ownership. When you complain, you say to the universe, this is mine. This lack, this pain, this limitation, it belongs to me. And what you claim, you continue to experience. You cannot complain about something and simultaneously rise above it. The two cannot occupy the same space. One must go. What you speak, you keep. Words are not idle. They are not casual expressions floating into empty space. They are seeds, and every seed once spoken with emotion and repetition begins to grow into experience. A person who constantly talks about their problems is constantly planting the same crop. And when that familiar harvest appears, more of the same pain, more of the same lack, they wonder why change feels impossible. It is because they are unknowingly loyal to their own suffering. There is power in your focus. Wherever your attention rests, energy flows, and wherever energy flows, reality forms. Complaining is nothing more than focused attention on what you do not want. You feed it with your thoughts. You water it with your words. And then you wonder why it won't leave. It won't leave because you keep inviting it back in through the door of your speech. But there is another way. You can starve the problem. You can rob it of its power by refusing to speak about it, not out of denial, but out of wisdom. You are not here to chronicle your misfortunes. You are here to create something higher. Instead of rehearsing what is wrong, choose to dwell in the feeling of what is right, even if it is only within. Speak of what you desire as though it already exists. Let your words be the construction of your new world, not the echo of your old one. The one who no longer complains has discovered something precious: peace. Peace is the soil in which all miracles grow. When you stop reinforcing the negative with your attention, it begins to lose its grip on you. You shift from victim to creator. You stop reacting and begin selecting. Your reality stops being something you suffer through and becomes something you shape. This is not about pretending. This is about choosing. You are not lying when you speak life into your situation. You are aligning with a deeper truth. The truth that you are not bound by what you see, but by what you accept. And the moment you stop accepting the undesirable by complaining about it, you open the door to transformation. Speak less of what troubles you and more of what delights you. Speak of love, not lack, of joy, not judgment, of gratitude, not grief. What you focus on, you feed. Feed the dream, not the doubt. Feed the future, not the fear. You are always manifesting. Your words are always working. The question is, what are they creating? If you truly desire change, then honor that desire with your speech. Let your words become a testimony of your faith, not your frustration. In silence or in joy, let your life be lifted, and let complaining be the thing you once did before you remembered who you really are. The need to explain is the subtle voice of doubt dressed in reason. When you believe something fully, deeply, and without question, you do not explain it. You embody it. It becomes a quiet knowing, a natural state, not something that requires validation or permission. But when there is hesitation in your assumption, when there is a crack in your inner foundation, the urge arises to defend, justify, or make others understand what you yourself are still trying to believe. To explain is to divide your power. It is to step out of the sanctuary of knowing and into the arena of opinion. The moment you seek to explain your vision, your desire, or your faith to others, you open the door to their doubts, their logic, their limitations. You hand over your inner world to be questioned by minds that do not see what you see. And in doing so, you subtly begin to question it yourself. You are no longer standing firm. You are standing on the shifting ground of approval. Real belief stands alone. It is silent not because it is secret, but because it is sure. It needs no witnesses, no applause, no agreement. It exists within you as a fact, long before the world can see it. The tree does not explain how it grows to the seedling beside it. The sun does not justify its light. So too should you live, shining, unfolding, becoming, without need to explain the process. Every time you explain your dream, you give away a piece of it. Not because others are unworthy, but because the dream is still forming within you. It is delicate. It must be protected. Explanation invites external measurement, and in that space, your assumption is reduced to a question. But your assumptions must never be questioned by the outer world. They must be honored by the inner world until they are made flesh. Those who manifest powerfully do not explain. They declare inwardly and move as if it is done. They do not argue for their limitations, nor do they seek permission for their vision. They accept it within, quietly, and then live as if the world must catch up, because it will. Let go of the need to be understood. You were not born to be explained, you were born to create. And creation happens in stillness, in faith, in the sacred space where nothing is seen, but everything is known. There is great strength in saying nothing, in simply becoming what you believe. You never need to prove yourself. The life you live will do that for you. The results will speak louder than any explanation ever could. When others see your transformation, your peace, your abundance, let them wonder, let them ask. And even then, you do not owe them an explanation. You owe only your alignment with the vision you've claimed as your truth. True belief is not loud. It is unwavering. It does not convince, it creates. Stand in that space. Assume the feeling of your desire fulfilled and hold it silently. Let that assumption be the final word. not because the world agrees, but because you do. Everything you see around you, every condition, every circumstance, every person, every event, is the result of a cause far deeper than the surface. That cause is within you. It is your imagination. Not the fleeting kind used for daydreams or fantasies, but the sacred creative faculty that shapes the very framework of your life. You are not reacting to life, you are living inside the echo of your inner world. And when you truly understand that imagination is the root of all outcomes, you no longer chase external proof. You begin to plant internally. To imagine is to create. The unseen image you hold, the scene you return to again and again, the feeling you dwell in silently, these are the blueprints of your future. The outer world only reflects what you've accepted within. When you understand this, you stop trying to fix the mirror and begin shaping the face. You withdraw your energy from reacting to circumstances and redirect it into consciously forming the state you desire to live in. The secret is this: you must live inwardly in the state of the wish fulfilled, not as hope, not as possibility, but as reality. Imagination must become your true dwelling place, your truest reality. You must assume the feeling of the outcome already achieved and wear it like a garment. Think from it, speak from it, act from it. Not out of pretense, but from knowing. Most people wait for proof before they believe, but proof is only the echo, it is not the source. The source is always within. If you look to the world for permission to believe, you delay your manifestation. You become a servant of appearances rather than the master of them. But the one who dares to believe in the unseen begins to bend the seen to match it. Simulation is divine law in motion. What you accept as true within, the world must eventually confirm. It may not come through the door you expect. It may not come in the form or timeline your logic planned. But it will come, because the seed was planted, and all seeds bear fruit in due season. Your only task is to remain loyal to the unseen image and not let the noise of the visible distract you. This is not delusion, this is creation. Delusion is ignoring reality. Creation is understanding that reality is fluid, shaped by consciousness. When you live inwardly in the fulfilled state, you are not pretending. It is the outer world that is late, not your inner vision. Stay faithful to it, persist without needing reassurance. The world will catch up. You are always imagining something. The question is, are you doing it consciously or by default? Are you imagining what you want or what you fear? What you expect or what you truly desire? To live deliberately means to choose the inner picture and feel it real, regardless of what currently surrounds you. There is no power outside of this. Imagination is not a tool, it is the source, it is the cause. Everything else is just the shadow that follows. Begin now. Close your eyes, step into the scene of your heart's desire and dwell in it. Let the feeling take root. The moment you do, the wheels begin to turn, and soon what was once invisible becomes the reality you walk in. True confidence is not loud. It does not shout, demand, or chase. It is quiet, still, and deeply assured. It does not arise from external proof, but from internal knowing. When you truly know that your desire is already yours, there is nothing left to beg for, nothing to argue about, and nothing to defend. You simply live as though it is done, because in your consciousness, it already is. The one who walks in this kind of confidence is unmoved by appearances. They are not disturbed when the world does not yet reflect their assumption. Why? Because they understand that reality flows from within to without. They know the difference between what is real and what is temporary. The real is the unseen state they dwell in inwardly. The temporary is the world still catching up. So they remain still, they remain calm, they remain certain. Non-reaction is not passivity, it is mastery. It is the deliberate choice to not be pulled out of alignment. When someone doubts you, you don't respond with fear or defense. When circumstances contradict your desire, you don't panic or resist. You stay rooted in your vision. You stay faithful to the state of the wish fulfilled. This is confidence, the kind that needs no validation. To react is to lower your state. It is to step out of the knowing and into the questioning. But you cannot serve two masters. You cannot be both the creator and the complainer. You cannot walk in assurance and seek approval. Choose the higher. Choose the unseen and remain in it. The longer you hold the inner state without reacting to its opposite, the faster the outer must conform. Confidence is quiet because it already knows. It knows that what is felt inwardly, consistently and persistently must externalize. There is no rush because there is no uncertainty. When you bake a cake, you don't open the oven every minute to check if it's done. You trust the process. So too must you trust the process of imagination. You planted the seed, now remain in faith. Arguing is for those who are unsure. Begging is for those who believe in separation. Defending is for those who still think they must earn what is already theirs. You, however, are different. You have assumed it. You have entered the state. You do not need to plead, you simply prepare. You do not need to fight, you simply feel. And your world responds not to effort, but to vibration. Let others question you, let the world misunderstand. It does not matter. The moment you knew it was done within, the outcome was guaranteed. Do not trade your peace for their approval. Do not abandon your state to prove a point. Stay quiet, stay calm, stay knowing. That is the posture of one who has already received. And so, live from the end. Walk in the world as though your desire has already manifested. Let your silence be your confidence. Let your composure be your confirmation. You are not waiting, you are becoming. Not someday, but now. And in that still, non-reactive faith, your reality bends to match the truths you carry within. There is a sacred stillness where miracles are born. Not in striving, not in struggle, and not in desperation, but in the calm, quiet certainty that what you desire is already yours. The moment you stop grasping, stop doubting, stop chasing, and simply rest in the knowing, you activate a power far greater than effort alone. The universe begins to shift. Invisible forces move, circumstances realign, and all of it begins without noise, without spectacle, within stillness. Stillness is not the absence of action, it is the presence of total trust. It is a deep inner posture where you no longer feel the need to prove, plead, or push. You have assumed the end. You have felt it real. And now you wait, not in anxiety, but in peace. This is the waiting that creates. This is the quiet that builds the bridge from the unseen to the seen. You see, the universe does not respond to panic. It does not answer frantic thoughts or emotional turmoil. It responds to the vibration of faith, pure, stable, unshaken belief. And belief does not need to shout. It does not need to announce itself. It simply knows. Just as the earth knows how to rotate and the seasons know how to change, your desire knows how to find its way to you, if you allow it. When you are still, you are not passive. You are magnetic. You become a vessel open to receive. The doors that once seemed closed begin to open because you are no longer blocking them with fear and overthinking. You stop trying to control the how and instead surrender to the reality that it is already unfolding perfectly. The most powerful transformations often happen in silence. They begin within where no one can see them, until one day everything changes without warning. People call it coincidence, but you know better. It was not sudden, it was certain. You just chose to believe before the evidence appeared. That is stillness. Stillness is also strength. It is the refusal to be moved by what you see. You may be surrounded by circumstances that contradict your desire, but you do not react. You do not let them shake your inner world. You remain aligned with your vision. You remain faithful to the unseen, and that stillness becomes the ground where miracles take root. The mind will try to pull you into worry. It will whisper questions, doubts, and timelines. But your work is to return to stillness again and again, to breathe, to feel, to trust. Because every time you return to that space, you signal the universe, I am ready, I already have it, I am no longer searching, I am receiving. And in that receptive state, things begin to happen. People show up, opportunities appear, delays dissolve, not because you forced it, but because you made room for it. You cleared the noise, you cleared the resistance, you became still, and in that stillness, the miraculous emerged. To stop chasing, stop fixing, stop trying to make it happen. Instead, sit quietly with the end in mind. Feel it, know it, rest in it, and let the silence do what shouting never could. Let the stillness speak your desire into existence, because the universe always answers the one who dares to be still and believe. Your reality is not shaped by the noise around you, but by the silence within you. You don't need to complain about what's wrong. You don't need to explain what you believe. You only need to assume it is done and walk in the stillness of that knowing. Let the world wonder how it happened. Let them guess your secret, because the miracle was never in the struggle. It was in your decision to believe, to imagine, to hold your vision without reaction, without noise, without fear. Miracles are not created by force. They unfold in the quiet confidence of one who trusts the unseen. So stand still, speak less, feel more, and live from the end. The moment you stop chasing and start assuming, the universe begins to move mountains on your behalf. Thank you for listening, for choosing faith over fear, and for remembering who you truly are. Until next time, stay still, stay certain, and watch the miracles unfold. Close the door. Still the noise. The world outside is loud, but the treasure lies in silence. You ask for a miracle. You look at numbers, tickets, odds, but I tell you, look within. The jackpot was never in the draw. The jackpot was in you. You say, how do I win? I answer, you already did. Repeat this and feel it as truth. I am the $580 million 0 cents winner. It is mine. It is done. I am already living it. Again, I am the $580 million 0 cents winner. It is mine. It is done. I am already living it. Say it once and doubt laughs. Say it again and doubt stumbles. Say it with feeling and doubt disappears. You do not repeat to convince God, you repeat to convince yourself. The world bends to your inner acceptance. It is the law. Say it until your body relaxes in the truth of it. Say it until you stop wanting and start being. You don't chase money, you embody wealth. You don't beg for fortune, you claim it as your inheritance. Feel the money as yours. Walk like it's yours. Wake up each morning and repeat this until your nervous system agrees, it is done, I am the winner. No one outside you needs to believe it. This is your secret. This is your spell. And when you feel it real, reality must respond. This is not luck, it is law. This is not fantasy, it is fact, once you accept. This is not a request, it is a command. So I say one last time, repeat it with me now. I am the $580 million 0 cents winner. It is mine. It is done. I am already living it. And now, let the world catch up. Imagination is not a dreamer's escape. It is the core of creation. Everything you now see, everything you now touch, was once invisible. It was once imagined. Your phone, your clothes, the chair you sit on, each began as a thought, an unseen idea that was given substance through belief, persistence, and focused attention. Yet most people treat their imagination like a toy, something childish, something to be put away as they grow older. But that is where the greatest error lies. The truth is this: imagination is the only reality. When you imagine something with clarity and faith, you are not engaging in fantasy. You are touching the seed of a future event. You are engaging with the raw material of existence. You are selecting from the infinite possibilities that surround you and giving one a place in your mind. And what you hold in mind with consistency and feeling begins to take shape. It is not magic. It is not superstition. It is law. What you accept internally must reflect itself externally. That's how life works. Always from within, outward. You have been trained to think the outside world is more real than your thoughts, but the opposite is true. The outer world is delayed. It is always a reflection of your previous imaginal activity. What you are living today is a result of what you believed, accepted, and emotionally entertained in the past. If you continue to observe the present with fear, doubt, or limitation, and do nothing to change your inner conversations, your future will look just like your past. But the moment you dare to imagine something greater, something bold, something wealthy, something joyful, and you do so with faith, you start a new cycle. A new destiny begins the moment you assume it. But it is not enough to simply think it once. You must feel it. You must enter the scene in your mind and walk in it as though it were already done. You must feel the joy of it, the naturalness of it. You must wear it like a second skin. You must repeat it until it becomes your inner truth. Then and only then will the outer world surrender. It has no choice. The world is a mirror, not a master. You are the cause. When people say, be realistic, they are asking you to worship limitation. But you were never meant to conform to the world. You were meant to shape it. And imagination is your tool. Through it, you select the life you wish to live. Through it, you rise above statistics, circumstances, and appearances. Through it, you claim what already exists in potential form and call it into being. The one who imagines richly and feels it fully walks in a different world. Their life looks blessed, favored, even lucky, but it is none of those. It is simply the result of inner discipline. You cannot fake it. You must live it within first. Every time you imagine your dream life with conviction, you are giving it roots. Keep going. Repeat it. Feel it. Speak it. Because imagination is not fiction. It is the foundation. It is the womb of creation. It is the only true reality. And you hold it within you now. Every day, without pause, you are speaking to yourself. This inner speech, silent, constant, and often unnoticed, is the engine of your reality. It is not idle talk. It is creative power in motion. What you say within yourself, whether with fear or faith, shapes the very fabric of your external world. You may think you are only reacting to life, but the truth is far deeper. Life is reacting to you. More precisely, it is reacting to what you say to yourself when no one else is listening. Most people use their inner voice to repeat what they do not want. They say things like, I'm broke, This never works out for me, I'm unlucky, or people don't support me. And without realizing it, they are giving commands to their subconscious mind, commands that the world obediently fulfills. The universe does not question whether your inner statements are wanted or unwanted, true or false, helpful or harmful. It only responds to the feeling and repetition behind your words. This is why changing your life begins with changing your inner dialogue. It doesn't require external effort at first. It doesn't demand a new job, a lucky break, or someone to come save you. It requires that you become aware of the story you're telling yourself, and then rewrite it. You must begin to speak inside your mind as the person who already has what you desire. If you want wealth, do not say, I'm trying to get rich. Say, I am wealthy. I am abundant. I always receive more than I expect. Say it not as a hope, but as a truth. Speak it softly, but confidently, again and again. Over time, this new inner speech takes root, and what is rooted within must eventually bloom without. You may not see immediate changes, but don't be fooled by appearances. Seeds do not grow overnight. Continue repeating your chosen truth until your nervous system accepts it, until your body feels safe in it, until the statement, I am wealthy, feels as familiar as your name. Then watch what happens. Ideas will come, opportunities will appear, people will respond to you differently, money will flow, not by accident, but by the invisible law that matches your dominant inner conversation. This is not positive thinking, it is spiritual law. The outer world reflects your assumptions, not your desires. Many desire wealth but assume struggle. Many want abundance but speak poverty within. You cannot fool this principle. You must align your inner voice with the result you wish to see. So ask yourself, what am I repeating in secret? What am I affirming in quiet moments, in doubt, in fear? Then choose differently. Speak only what you want to live. Make your inner speech sacred. Let it be filled with gratitude, certainty, and wealth, not someday, but now. Because the world is not punishing or rewarding you, it is echoing you. And if you want to be rich, abundant, overflowing in success, start speaking as if it is already true. Do it persistently, with love and conviction. Soon the outer world will follow the sound of your voice. Words are only shells. They carry no power until they are filled with feeling. You may repeat affirmations day and night, but if they are dry, robotic, or disconnected from emotion, they fall to the ground, empty and ineffective. The real force that shapes your reality is not the words you say, it is the feeling behind them. Feeling is the fire. Feeling is the magnetic pull. Feeling is the invisible hand that takes what you imagine and draws it into your life. To possess anything in this world, you must first possess it within. That means you must feel the state of already having it. If you desire $580 million, 0 cents, do not speak of it as something far away. Do not say, one day I will have it, or I wish it were mine. Instead, you must enter the experience as if it is already true. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, begin to feel the security, the ease, the expansion that comes with that kind of wealth. Let it settle into your body. Let it become familiar. That sensation, that quiet knowing, is the creative act. People often ask why their manifestations take so long or why nothing changes despite constant repetition. The answer is simple. They speak the words but feel the opposite. They affirm wealth but feel lack. They say, I am rich, but carry fear and doubt in their chest. The subconscious mind does not hear your words. It responds to your feeling. And if the feeling contradicts the statement, the feeling always wins. So what do? You shift from thinking to being. You use your imagination not just to see, but to feel. Feel the soft leather seats of the car. Feel the click of the pen as you sign the check. Feel the sunlight on your skin as you lie in your oceanfront home. Let your body react. Let your heart smile. Let yourself be moved by it. When you feel something is real, your mind accepts it, and once the mind accepts it, reality begins to change. This is not about faking it. It's about faithfully entering the state of the wish fulfilled. The same way you worry about things that haven't happened, and your body tenses, your breath shortens, your mood shifts. You can reverse that process. Feel joy before the event. Feel success before the achievement. Feel the result before it arrives. This is how all creation works. From within, through feeling, into form. The world does not move for those who merely speak. It moves for those who feel it real. A man who walks in the feeling of success will find doors open for him. A woman who lives in the inner atmosphere of abundance will begin to attract opportunities, people, and circumstances that reflect her inner state. Not by chance, not by luck, but by law. So when you speak your affirmations, don't just say them, become them. Let the words be alive in you. Let them vibrate through your senses. Let them move you into alignment with what you seek. Because feeling is not the effect of possession, it is the cause. The one who feels it real possesses it already, and the world without resistance will deliver it right into their hands. Luck is the story people tell when they don't understand the power of persistence. They see a person rise, succeed, or receive a miracle and say, "That one is lucky." But they do not see the hours that person spent alone, affirming, believing, refusing to give up in the face of silence. Luck is what the world calls it, but the truth is, persistence is the force that moves mountains. Manifestation is not a one-time chant. It is not a casual wish whispered once under your breath. It is the consistent, conscious repetition of truth, your truth, until the unseen becomes seen. You do not ask once and walk away. You repeat. You embody. You believe. So deeply, so stubbornly, that the outer world must yield. Think of the farmer. He doesn't plant a seed and check the soil every 5 minutes, demanding proof. He trusts the process. He waters it, he protects it, he waits, knowing the harvest is guaranteed if he does not stop tending to the ground. The same law governs your desires. The seed is planted in your imagination. It grows through your persistent inner belief. Water it daily with feeling, shine light on it through repetition. Remove the weeds of doubt. That's how you win. Many fail not because they don't believe once, but because they don't believe long enough. They get tired. They look to the outside world for signs, and when nothing appears, they say, "It's not working." And in that moment, they dig up the seed, they speak failure, they abandon the process. But the ones who persist, the ones who repeat their affirmations not because of the outer world, but in spite of it, those are the ones who win. Not by accident, by spiritual law. You may say, "But it's been weeks, months, years." And I say, it does not matter. Persistence outshines luck. Persistence outlasts delay. Repetition with conviction will wear down resistance like water wears down stone. If your mind can hold the vision, your life must eventually hold the result. You are not waiting on life. Life is waiting on you to stay faithful. Stay in the state, stay in the assumption. Even when the world offers no confirmation, keep going. When you wake up, speak it. When doubt whispers, override it with truth. When no one believes in you, believe even louder. That is the difference between a wish and a creation. One fades, the other repeats until it becomes flesh. There is no magic ticket. The lottery itself is not about chance, it's about alignment. You must persist in the feeling of already having won. You must feel the joy, the relief, the reality of it, until it becomes normal to your nervous system. And when it becomes normal inside you, it will become normal around you. The miracle, the money, the dream, none of it is stronger than your belief. Your inner reality is the author of your outer results. So don't stop. Don't slow down. Keep going until the world catches up. The one who refuses to let go of the vision will always seem lucky to those who do not understand. But you will know it wasn't luck. It was persistence. And it was always yours. There is a vast difference between speaking toward your desire and speaking from it. Most people speak as if what they want is far away. They say things like, I hope I win, I want to be wealthy, or I will have it someday. But all of those phrases push the desire into the future, into a space that never arrives. The future is always just ahead of you, just out of reach. That is why nothing changes. The secret is to shift from wishing and wanting to being and having. You don't speak toward the goal. You speak from the end, as though it is already yours. This is the great spiritual key, to feel now what you once thought you could only feel later. To think from the place you desire to be, not about it. It is not, I will win $580 million, those cents. That statement implies it is not yet true, that you are still separate from it. Instead, you say, I won the $580 million, those cents. It is done. I am living it. That inner declaration is not a lie. It is a spiritual act of creation. You are claiming the end result and stepping into its energy now. And once you fully inhabit that state, life must rearrange itself to reflect it. The subconscious mind does not understand time. It accepts whatever you impress upon it with emotion and repetition. So, when you speak from the end, when you say, I already have it, and you feel the truth of that, your subconscious begins to organize your reality to match that internal assumption. You don't need to know how. The how is not your job. Your job is to accept the end as true. When you live in the feeling that it is already done, you are no longer seeking. You are no longer doubting. You are dwelling in the answer. And answers manifest. Doors open. People appear. Money flows. Not because you forced anything, but because you aligned yourself with the end result. And reality follows belief. Think of how you feel after you accomplish something. There's no more striving. There's peace, confidence, gratitude. That is the state you must enter now. Not when the money is in your hand, but before, because it is that state, the state of the wish fulfilled, that creates the condition. You live from the assumption, and the outer world obeys. This is not about delusion, it is about authority. You are the creator, not the beggar. You don't plead with the universe, you command with faith. You see yourself already there. You speak with finality, and that energy is magnetic. It draws the unseen into form. Every time you say, I will, you delay. Every time you say, I am, you claim. Speak from the end. See yourself on the other side of the mountain. Feel what it's like to already be the person who has it all. Let that feeling become your home. Let that vision become your identity. Because when you speak from the end, you collapse the distance between you and your desire. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer wish, you live. And the world, which always listens to the certainty of your inner voice, will simply mirror back the truth you have already decided. It is done. The greatest treasure you will ever possess does not lie in a bank, a vault, or a lottery ticket. It lies within your mind. The world teaches you to look outward for wealth, to chase money, to seek opportunities, and to wait for your lucky break. But real fortune doesn't begin outside, it begins with your consciousness. The $580 million, 0 cents you seek already exists in potential. But to experience it, you must first access the vault within, the one that responds not to effort, but to belief. Your mind is the gateway to every form of abundance. It is the origin of all manifestations, all outcomes, all visible experiences. If your inner world is filled with limitation, fear, and lack, then no matter how many opportunities come your way, you will unconsciously sabotage or block them. But if your mind is saturated with wealth, if you believe you are abundant, if you feel worthy of riches, and if you expect success, then the outer world must conform to that inner conviction. It is law. You were never meant to chase money. You were designed to create it through assumption. Whatever you accept as true becomes a command to your subconscious, and your subconscious governs your results. If you constantly repeat, "I never have enough," or "money is hard to get," then you've already locked the vault and thrown away the key. But the moment you begin to affirm, "I am wealthy," "money flows easily to me," "I always have more than I need," and you repeat it with emotion and consistency, the vault unlocks. This is not theory, it is experience. Your true bank account is not measured by the digits on a screen. It is measured by the richness of your thoughts, the expansiveness of your beliefs, and the certainty of your assumptions. There are people with little external wealth who feel abundant, and abundance finds them. There are others with millions in their hands, but scarcity in their minds, and it all slips away because money follows mindset. Always. You don't need to wait until you get lucky. You need to decide right now that you are rich. You must train your inner dialogue to reflect the life you desire. Speak to yourself like someone who already owns the $580 million, 0 cents. Feel the security. Imagine the freedom. Let the thought of abundance become your default setting, your emotional home. Once your mind becomes the container for wealth, life will begin pouring into it. Remember, your imagination is your vault. Your thoughts are your currency. Your inner conversations are the investments that yield your return. So ask yourself daily, what am I depositing into my mind? If it's doubt, fear, and lack, you'll withdraw more of the same. But if it's faith, confidence, and wealth, then fortune has no choice but to arrive. The world mirrors what's within. And when you believe without wavering that the $580 million, 0 cents is already yours, the universe will bring you the channels, people, and events to make it real. Not because you forced it, but because you finally opened the vault. So stop looking outward in desperation, look inward in power. Because the money is not waiting out there, it's waiting in you, ready to be released by belief, by repetition, and by unwavering faith in the truth. You are already rich. Now you know the truth. What you seek is already within you. It was never about luck, chance, or waiting for the perfect moment. The $580 million, 0 cents, the wealth, the freedom, the life of your dreams. It all begins in your mind. You hold the key. Through imagination, inner speech, persistent belief, and the power of feeling, you unlock a reality that once seemed impossible. Speak from the end, feel it real, live from the truth that it is already yours. Because when you fully accept it inside, the outside must obey. Don't wait for proof, be the proof. Say it, feel it, repeat it. Let your reality reflect your decision. Wealth is not something you chase, it is something you claim, and now you've claimed it. Thank you for walking this path with me. Thank you for daring to believe in more. Thank you for choosing the unseen over the obvious, the inner over the outer, the truth over appearances. You are powerful beyond measure. And now the world will mirror that truth back to you. Stay faithful, stay persistent, and always remember it's already yours.